Central News.
A young girl prepares for her place in history. And flowers of the world to mourn a princess. Good afternoon. A disabled girl who presented the Princess of Wales with a posy is to walk in her funeral procession.
5-year-old Harriet Jackson is one of 15 representatives of the National Institute of Conductive Education in Birmingham. She'll join the procession to Westminster Abbey, watched by huge crowds along the route. She presented a posy to the Princess when she opened the centre in 1995.
It's a great honour for us to be able to say goodbye to Diana in this way, and also to represent Harriet's school, of which Diana was a patron.
12-year-old Lawrence Chambers will also be taking part. He was supposed to have given the Princess a formal farewell after the opening ceremony, but instead gave her a loving hug.
Thousands of people are preparing to make the journey to London for the funeral.
Ever since the news of the Princess's death first broke, towns and cities across the region have been paying their own tributes. But many people are determined to travel to the capital and say a personal goodbye at tomorrow's funeral. Voluntary worker Tony Chen from Wolverhampton took his place in the queue outside Westminster Abbey on Thursday.
Well, I feel I've liked Princess Di ever since she went into the royal family.
The AA says anyone who's determined to drive should park on the outskirts of London and travel into the city by public transport. Meanwhile, extra trains and coaches are being provided. Midland Main Line says there's been a 40% rise in bookings. It's offering half-price fares into St Pancras. Train services run until 9 o'clock tonight and begin again at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. National Express says the response for tickets has been overwhelming. People are being advised to book before setting off.
Special services in memory of the Princess will be taking place today and throughout the weekend.
Still last night, thousands of people were queuing at Birmingham Cathedral to sign a book of condolence. The carpet of flowers beneath what's been called Diana's tree continues to grow, and the cathedral's half-muffled bells rang out for 3.5 hours as a tribute to the Princess.
The bells in the tower, half of them have the clapper covered in a leather sheath, which deadens the sound, but you don't have half the bells so that you get some of the brilliance.
Most churches across the region will remain open during the weekend for private prayer, and there'll be gatherings at most of the region's cathedrals, with morning and evening services on Saturday at Coventry Cathedral. And at noon on Sunday, a civic memorial service will be held in Centenary Square in Birmingham. But one of the most poignant memorial services will take place this afternoon at Birmingham's Heartlands Hospital. There, nurses and former patients will remember the day Diana visited and put her name to its maternity unit.
Millions of flowers have been sold to people paying their respects to the Princess of Wales. Blooms from throughout the world are being flown in to cope with the demand.
Early morning at one of the country's biggest flower markets. Florists from throughout the Midlands, like Maureen Edwards, come here to stock up on blooms. And the demand for flowers in memory of Diana, Princess of Wales, means it's busier than ever.
This is what came in last night, because we'd sold out, so we managed to get hold of another shipment, because the retailers have sold and they wanted, you know, more flowers.
Flowers are being flown into the Birmingham wholesale market from throughout the world to cope with the demand.
The whole of the flower industry throughout the world has rallied and found supplies and got them into the markets.
Street sellers say they're selling out within hours.
I've had people crying their eyes out and stuff like that. And like, I haven't know what to say to them, so I don't know the customers or nothing, you see.
My heart's just missing a beat every time I think about it, so I just needed to do this.
The biggest demand for flowers will probably come tomorrow, as people everywhere pay their last respects to the people's princess.
And now we can go live to Birmingham Cathedral and our reporter Mark Goff.
And most of the flowers are coming here. The crowds behind me are looking at the thousands of flowers which have been laid out. But I've been joined by the very Reverend Peter Berry, the Provost of Birmingham. Proctor, why do you think so many people have taken the effort to come
here? Well, it is really overwhelming. it's been cumulative, really. All the days of waiting, in a way, for tomorrow, for Westminster Abbey, have increased people's sense of grief and also purpose. There's a strong feeling of purpose somehow, of people wanting to share, wanting to put their flowers. And so we've got a vast sea of flowers, beautiful flowers, with all sorts of messages on, and people are standing and looking at the flowers and thinking of Princess Diana.
And why do you think people come here? I mean, when you see these flowers, what does it make you think about the people who are here?
You see, I do think that people are externalizing a whole range of things. It isn't simply, it's more than grief for Diana. I'm convinced of that. I feel it is touching a nerve of the nation. Let me just say what I think.
Very briefly, you've only got a few
yes,
seconds
I know
left.
you have. But I think it's very important. There's a tremendous sense of loneliness in Western society. There's a sense of fragmentation. There's a whole sense of unease. I think all this is coming to the surface.
Unfortunately, we've got to leave it there. Thanks very much. And from the cathedral, it's back to the studio.
Thanks, Mark. Some other news now. And a council's been ordered to pay £30,000 to send a disabled girl to a school 100 miles from her home. The High Court in London agreed that 7-year-old Caris Lane from Bromsgrove should be educated at a school in Sussex. Caris, who has cerebral palsy, was represented by the Prime Minister's wife, Cherie Booth QC. The family say local schools aren't up to scratch. Hereford and Worcester County Council says it may appeal. Inmates at one of the region's prisons are celebrating after winning an award for their magazine. The publication's produced by prisoners for prisoners.
A free press behind bars. This may sound like a contradiction in terms, but at Birmingham's Winson Green prison, it's not only happening, it's also a winner. Although the Green was only set up a year and a half ago, it's already received national recognition.
We'd seen magazines from other prisons and we decided that we could do things just as well, if not better.
And how do you feel about getting the award that you've received?
I think we're quite proud, really. You know, it's a bit of a pat on the back.
The prison's writer-in-residence oversees the award-winning publication.
It's a place where they can read stories, they read poems, they get information about what's going on in the jail.
It's hoped prisoners can benefit from their writing experiences and put them to good use when they're released. In the meantime, still in captivity, they're working towards next year's awards.
2 petrol station workers who saved a baby's life are to receive humanitarian awards. Cashier Tracy Richards and manager Margaret Sheffield gave 1-month-old Nathan Humphreys the kiss of life. Nathan's parents drove to the petrol station in Birmingham after he stopped breathing. That's it from the lunchtime team. We'll have another update at 3:25. Until then, goodbye.
Central Weather, sponsored by Stay Bright Windows, the clear choice in any weather.
Hello again. Well, a pleasant end to the week, but the unsettled theme continues. Over the next 48 hours, it's a case of snatching pleasant moments before the next band of cloud. Fairly pleasant moments this afternoon. It's a mix of cloud and sunny spells. No terribly threatening cloud on the immediate horizon there, but there is an area of drizzly rain approaching. It's still so far out to the west that it hasn't quite made an appearance left of screen yet. That will be here tomorrow as planned. It's just the timing of it that has changed. It's slowed down an awful lot, hence its non-appearance. We probably won't see that cloud get here until later on tomorrow now, which leaves much of Saturday relatively clear. Not too bad for this afternoon either. Mainly dry, just the odd shower for the higher ground. Some sunny spells between the clouds. Breezy, but feeling okay in any of that sunshine. Any cloud around the region tonight will be mainly high clouds, so it should stay dry everywhere. It's a breezy night. Quite a chill to the air, though, with lows of 8 Celsius and some mist patches forming by dawn. Not too much cloud around by morning, though, so it will be a sunny start to tomorrow. And the heat of that sun will get the temperatures rising nicely. We've got highs of 23 Celsius tomorrow. Still fairly sunny for the afternoon, but the wind will increase through the day as the next system eventually starts to move in, and here it is here. That'll bring rain across through tea time and the evening, so a sunny start to tomorrow, but a dull, damp end to it. That's it. Bye-bye.
The Central 7-Day Weather Line, 0336 40 40 10.
Remember those lazy summer days? Well, Saturday at 4 is the perfect time to meet old friends.
Sounds best. Sounds great.
Sounds perfect.
And what could be better than an unexpected windfall?
I make it £29,480.
But it's not all plain sailing for the Larkins.
I want to come home.
David Jason, Pam Ferris and Catherine Zeta-Jones, the Darling Buds of May. Saturday at 4 on ITV.
You're watching Central. Now at 12:30, the lunchtime news from ITN.